Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of The Walking Dead Comics issue 168, The Road's End. Now, like 90% of this, content-wise, is Negan's speech, but it was a damn good speech, and therefore a damn good issue. I almost said chapter, like always. But yeah, I thought it was very, very good. Let's talk about it part by part, though. So, first off, everybody's in mourning as they head back out, and the Saviors are fixing the gate, burning the bodies. Dwight pretty much, I don't want to say ordered or commanded, but he got them to do all of that. So John finally confronts Rick about Sherry and all that. Rick forgives them. He's like, you guys didn't help us when your help would have been much more needed, like with the Whispers and all that, but at least you're helping now. It's something. So he's forgiven them already, shows Rick devoted to being this good leader and bringing them all towards the future and all. I love the one panel we had. There's just a huge, almost full-page panel where Rick just goes, "Sherry is dead," and that was funny. Dwight and the Saviors raise their gun. The Saviors draw their guns on Rick like, Sherry's dead, so you're gonna die. Dwight, of course, draws his gun and tells Rick to get back, but Rick's like, no, let's just keep everything calm here. Negan ends up stepping in between the two groups in order to give his amazing speech, and it was an amazing speech. And he's like, so, any of you want to go back to the way things were? And Mark agrees. Come on, Mark. So Negan punches him for agreeing, and he sort of lectures them on how the old ways did not work. People feared us and everything, but I mean, it's obvious that how things were before the war did not work out for anyone, really. The Saviors were on a point system and all that, and that wasn't working. Everybody else was giving them their shit. That wasn't working. It wasn't working for anybody. So he talks to John about how Sherry was causing the problems. Sherry wasn't happy with Dwight. She kicked him to the side. Not happy with Negan. Kicked him to the side. Not happy with the Saviors, or not happy with what Rick was doing, trying to kick him to the side. She was just trying to solve problems that weren't there to the point of making problems. And I like that during this we had that one panel of Maggie being angry just to remind us, yeah, we haven't really seen those two confront each other yet. Then he tells them, I like this line coming from Negan now, where he's like, it's not about who's bigger or better, whose dick's the longest. It's all about helping each other. I thought that that was a good line. It shows sort of how, kind of like at the end of the war, where Negan's like, Rick is right. It all works out his way better with everybody working together. It's just more efficient and works better for everybody. My way was efficient too, and like he's thinking to himself, my way was efficient to a certain extent, but it doesn't really work as well as Rick's way does. So I think it's interesting to see that he's fully embraced that to this point. I mean, he's still Negan. You probably still can't forgive him. He's done a lot of stuff, and he probably needs some sort of penance for those crimes. And he served a bit, but probably needs a little bit more in most of the characters' eyes. But either way, it's good to see how far he's come as a character. So they bury their dead. We find out that Jesus found Gabriel, his corpse at least. And we have edgy teen angst Rick not talking to Carl and then laying on the grave. So, thoughts on this one? I thought the speech was, for the third or fourth time I'm saying this review, amazing. I thought that the resolution to this issue was done very, very well. I didn't really want too much of the drama between the Saviors and everybody else. I think that this is a much more simple and realistic way to go about things, and it, instead of giving us just a replay of stuff we've already seen, it lets us move into some new storylines. All of that works out perfectly great. I liked the large frame panels, talking about it art-wise. Of course, we didn't get as much content as when we were on the 16-panel grid, but the large panels gave us some nice artwork, and it's easier on them after putting out the friggin' hellishly long issue last month. Maybe let them catch back up, take it easy a little bit. Easier, not easy, but still, think it was quite nice overall. The work was good and all. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens with Negan from now on, since he's saved Rick a bunch of times. Is Rick going to essentially put him under house arrest? Is he going to lock him? I doubt he's going to lock him back in a cell. I mean, he did what he promised to do, so is Rick going to put him in house arrest? Kind of that situation, like he said before, where he's like, I'll give you a place to live and give you supplies, but you'll have to work and you'll have to be monitored, and you won't be allowed to lead people. So is that going to be Negan's new situation? And if so, or are they just going to let him be? I would say that's probably going to be a situation. I wouldn't say Rick being like, okay, you're just a full member of the community now. But either way, beyond seeing how that works out for Negan, the more interesting part is how are Dwight and Maggie going to react to this? Because both of them have serious problems with Negan. So if Rick even puts him on house arrest, are they going to be like, Rick, that's too much freedom for him. We do not need to be giving Negan these sort of opportunities. Or if Rick really embraces them and actually does say, hey, you're a part of the community now, you saved me a bunch. That, I figure, could set them off quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see where we go with that. The cover of next issue with Dwight holding the gun to Rick has me worried quite a bit, but I'm severely hoping that Dwight does not become a traitor, because I really like the character and I think it's one of the better characters in the comics. Probably my personal favorite, but writing wise one of the best written as well. And yeah, after that we see that a group's going to be on the road again. I'm very interested in that, because that's something we haven't seen in a while, something that interests me a whole hell of a lot about zombie apocalypse kind of genre in general, but also in this, now that it's been a few years, and what are they going to do out in the road? Like, everything's going to be all overgrown. Like, just for example, when Negan first met Beta and he was in that neighborhood that was all overgrown with plants and stuff, that was awesome looking scenery. Are we going to have more stuff like that? Because if so, that's going to be really cool. And exploring places like that would be really cool. Though it's not really like they could scavenge much at this point, I guess. Most things worth scavenging would already either be taken or either be just destroyed, weathered with time. But yeah, either way, for this, gonna give it a score. I would... I even wrote down what I wanted to say for this part this time. 8 magic foot vaginas out of 10. Negan's dialogue is incredible. And I didn't really bring that up. 8 out of 10, that's my score. I thought it was quite good, despite being pretty much all just that one speech. But I will say it again, I've said it a lot. Negan's dialogue is just so well written and well worded. It feels so unique, so different, and so entertaining. Just the way he speaks is just so entertaining to read. And it works very well. And when you think about it, it's kind of a risk taken, because you think you could make a character that talks like this, and there's a possibility that 99% of people would absolutely hate it and think it's so stupid, but it just works. It works so well. Negan as a character just works so well, and I can't even describe why it works. But it does. So either way, 8 out of 10, really loved that speech. That's it. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this issue and what you thought of my thoughts and all that on it. Live reaction to it is up on the channel if you haven't seen that and would like to, as well as some previous issues. Well, I've been covering it for about a year now, maybe actually a little bit over a year. Was there anything else? Oh yeah, subscribe if you want for more. The Walking Dead more. Will be trying to review Feared eventually, whenever I have time and feel like watching it and reviewing it. Then follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to talk to you there and keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.